Do you like campy, scary stories like Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street? Well, what if there's a whole book of stories like that? Yes. Hack and Slash. So today we are looking at Hack and Slash, which is a horror story. You look, it says horror right there. So it's a horror series about this girl and how she hunts basically serial killers, murderers, different cult leaders and stuff like that, monsters. So it's very much like Friday the 13th, A Nightmare on Elm Street, stuff like that. Very campy, very fun reads, and I definitely think this one is a fun read. It has a lot of boobs like that. So if you're ready to see some action, let's jump into Hack and Slash. Okay, so we are looking at Hack and Slash, which is a horror story. Now, I picked this one because I wanted to have a little bit of the serial killer action pick for this spectacular spooky story spectacular. So I chose this one, and it has definitely your heroine who is usually always the last person to survive. So this is volume 2. This is actually the sequel. And we're just gonna read the first chapter. You're gonna be able to see it. This is the deluxe edition, volume 1. Now, it's a very campy kind of thing. It has a lot of girls. It has a lot of murder and gore. So I thought this was fun pick for Halloween for this spooky time. Here it breaks it down for you. So we're just gonna look at the first chapter. It's called Gross Anatomy. So you start off here at a building in Atlanta, Georgia. And this guy is basically hurting this girl, who is our heroine, so spoilers if you haven't read the other ones, she is our heroine. He's basically trying to unlock something, and her name is actually Hack, or Mrs. Hack, so that's pretty funny. And he took basically her pinky, as you can see there, and this guy has like no skin basically. And he is torturing her, trying to get some information. And then from here, this is kind of like a flashback that you see that she is, I guess, she's a little kid and in the swings. And I guess her mom was the lunch lady. So these kids are bullying her. They're throwing her into the mud, tripping her, as you see here. And she's crying. And then her mom comes and kind of saves her and takes her home. And she's like, the world is full of people who want to hurt you, Cassandra. So all we've got is each other, and she's like, she's kind of embarrassed with that, so they leave. So then it goes back to her, and he's basically wanting to know why she wants to kill serial killers and sadists, because that was the first part in the beginning, or in the first part, if you haven't read it, she basically hunts serial killers and other bad guys, and that's what her thing is. So he's gonna take her pinky, or her other pinky, I believe. And then turns out that the kid who was bullying her is being killed by her mom, and turns out her mom was a serial killer, and here she finds her now, killing the kids. You can see here like all their guts. Oh, I'm definitely going to zoom into that so you can see it. And so the mom is basically over here like, your mother knows best. These kids and the boys, they were so cruel to you. You're such a sweet girl, Cassie. Never harmed anyone, but the way they treated you, they like to hurt you. Soulless creatures they are. Just so much meat. So she's going to kill him. And the mom stops her. And basically when the police finally get there, I guess she called the police, she puts her head into that boiling oil, I'm guessing it's oil or whatever it was, and kills herself. So that's kind of, it gives you a little backstory on why she wants to hunt down these killers. So she's over here, this is like straight off after the first one, which we also have here. So then you have this guy, which is, let me see, where is she at? He is actually part of her friend. He was her friend who was a serial killer. She thought he was a bad guy, but turns out that he was actually killing serial killers as well, and he was actually a cool guy or a good guy. So his name is Vlad. So he starts helping her, and it kind of tells you, like when he asks him, "Do you have any friends?" It kind of goes through her, just her meeting him and or helping him after the first book, and then here, like you see him, he's looking for her, and he's tracking her because I guess she had a what do you call it? Chip on her, so he's looking to save her, so he's tracking her through the internet. And then this guy kills him, this guy, or she kicks him, sorry, and here she kind of goes back onto another repressed memory that she had, I guess, with once she changed parents, step parents, whatever. And then this guy shows up, and he comes in, and cuts this guy's arms off. What? And she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and kill you," and she throws him off the building. And then here's the hotel. They're getting ready. This guy's huge. You can see how tall he is. He's like kind of grayish. And then it goes back to the Crane Center, which is this guy. I guess he's looking for that same guy that she killed, and then you have this other guy, this other character here, who is the next person she is gonna go ahead and look after, or go after, and then he's like performing a ritual. So basically, she hunts down guys, serial killers, murderers, for sport or because she wants to, redeem herself, I'm guessing. And so that's how that first chapter ends. So, that the rest of it follows her going after this guy. So that's cool. If you haven't read it, I would definitely suggest it. It's, like I said, very campy, very gory, very, like, you don't have to think too much about it. It's kind of action-packed, and I like that. It's, slasher films are that, just kind of campy. You're just having a good time. Jump scares. You're like, oh, who did it? Who's responsible? Blah, blah, blah. So I thought this was a good choice for the Scary Story Spectacular. You can get to this one at Organic Price Books as well, guys. So this is Hack and Slash Volume 2. And I will see you in the next spooky story. Ooh.